Namaste, yogis. So for the month of January, we're really focusing a lot on detoxing and participating in cleanses to help jumpstart the new year for 2013. So even if you're not participating in a cleanse in which you're cutting certain types of foods out of your diet, or maybe certain types of cleaning products, or doing certain things to your skin, I'm going to show you something today that's going to help you to cleanse your body of toxins a little bit easier on a more regular basis. So something you can practice on your own every day. So what we're going to talk about today is twisting. And twisting gives us all sorts of great benefits because when we twist, we're adding compression to our internal body. I like to call it wringing the spine of toxic waste. So not only are you getting a nice rotation of the vertebrae of your spine, you're adding compression, as I mentioned before, to the internal body. So compression to the liver, the kidneys, the gallbladder, the pancreas, even the diaphragm and the lungs, which makes it a little bit harder to breathe when you twist. But that's okay because when we have that compression on the lungs, it's helping to clean the lungs of the toxic waste. So when we exhale, some of that waste can be pushed out through our lungs. But breathing isn't the only way we can release toxic waste. When you twist, because you're adding all this compression, it helps to kind of bring the toxic waste inside of your body up to the surface. So it could be released through your breath, through your skin, through sweat, through your feces or your urine later on. It can even be released through tears. So there are a lot of different ways to get rid of toxic waste inside your body when you're doing things like a twist. So twisting can have all these really great benefits, and it's so fantastic, and I love twisting. I love incorporating them into my practice and into my classes for my students. But so many of us twist improperly without even knowing it, so we're not actually receiving all of the benefits that we could be if we were doing it correctly in the first place. So one of the first things I like to tell my students, excuse me, one of the first things I like to tell my students is to check the alignment of their spine. So sometimes when we get into a comfortable seated posture, especially when people start to maybe stack both feet on top, they do this thing where they stick their tailbone out behind and they sink into their low back and they kind of jet their belly forward, and it's not really very good for your back. So you want to think about also not going incredibly in the opposite direction and rounding over or doing anything like this. So check the extremes first, and I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit. But you want a gentle tuck to your pelvic bowl so that way you can draw into the Mula Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandha, so pulling everything in and up. And getting a nice long spine. Think about relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. And think about kind of not lifting to the head or the neck necessarily, but think about kind of creating more space in your spine. So almost like you're creating separation between your discs, kind of like you would be in a fold. So we get our spine really long and tall, and it's in this great alignment. And then the first thing I see people do that's incorrect is they take their hand behind their back. So now they're reaching too far back, or maybe they're putting their palm to the floor when they shouldn't be, and they're starting to pull back, and then they reach their hand to their knee, and then they crank this twist. And if you look at my back when I do this, and I'll flip around for a second so you can see a little bit better, but if I'm reaching way far behind me and then I'm reaching my hand here and I'm using my arms to twist, and my body is shortening, I'm shrinking down in my posture, and you want to stay long the whole time. So I tell people, reach your hand back first. You get this nice tall alignment, reach your hand back and see where it goes. So whatever side you're going to be twisting to, take that hand and reach it back. I already have fairly long arms, but I also have a long torso, so when I reach back, even though I have long arms, I still keep my fingers to the floor. I can't reach my palm to the floor without ruining the alignment of my spine. So I stay lifted to my fingers in my posture. And then I like to describe the spine as kind of being like a spiral staircase. So your tailbone being the very, very first stair of that spiral. And then one vertebrae at a time twisting up so that you're not cranking out your twist. And again, when you saw me do it from behind, you can see I'm shrinking down in size. And if you were to look at my spine, only every so often are a vertebrae or is a vertebrae twisting. It's not every single vertebrae twisting from the bottom up, it's just every once in a while. And then the spaces in between are being compressed and pushed together as I shrink down in size and force my twist. So we reach our hand back, we're nice and tall, we're drawing in and up to the belly. And then maybe we reach our opposite hand to the knee. So if I've got the right hand behind, I'm going to start to kind of reach my left hand over to my right knee. And already this is kind of starting to add a little bit of a twist, but I want to make sure I'm not twisting from the center of my body first. So if it feels like as you reach over, you're already starting to twist here before you've twisted here, then back up. You want to start by twisting at the lowest part first, and then one vertebrae at a time. And your head is always going to be the very last thing to turn. You're working your way up nice and slow, starting from the bottom, working to the top. And if again I show you from behind, you'll see how much more length I have in my spine, how much more I'm rotating. So compare A to B. So again, you can see it's much taller, I'm getting a much deeper twist, and I can maybe even go a little bit deeper. And again, it's not about adding force or torque by pushing through your hands and your arms. It's about controlling from the belly, giving your spine support to become more flexible. And again, think about starting from the bottom and then working your way up a little bit at a time. So my shoulder really doesn't even pull back until near the top, near the end of the twist. And then add a little bit more length, and then maybe a little bit more of a twist. And when you unwind, again, it's kind of the same thing. You almost work in reverse. You start more from the top and work your way down. And so when we do this, when we lengthen up and we compress and we hold everything in with the strength of our core, and we are supporting our spine as we twist rather than cranking out, that's when we start to receive all the benefits that we discussed before. So the compression of the internal body, the wringing of the toxic waste of the spine, because now every vertebrae is twisting rather than just every couple. And when we exhale, we're pushing out the toxic waste from our lungs. And your spine is going to feel a lot better if you have back problems. When you're torquing that twist and you're forcing it, and you're applying so much pressure when your body doesn't need that much pressure to get really deep into your twist, then you're just doing damage to your body. You're not really receiving the benefits of a twist. You're almost kind of backfiring it, and you're going to make your back problems a lot worse. So something that you can do is a twist every day on your own. Maybe not right in the morning when you wake up because your body's kind of stiff, but after you loosen up a little bit, at any point in the day, practicing a twist from time to time is really going to help your body feel better, and again, it's going to help to wring your body of toxic waste. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I will be seeing you later in the month for more detox videos. Namaste.